Hello, as you can see behind me, it's almost Christmas, and I've got a 1966 Mark V Gregory amplifier. If you look back in some of my other videos, and actually I'll post links up in one of the corners here to some of those other Gregory videos, you will see I have demonstrated already a Mark I, a Mark X, and a Mark 16. This makes the first demonstration of a Mark V. This is what's commonly known as a Widowmaker amplifier. That is, it has series filaments that run directly off the AC from the wall, so there is no power transformer. Unlike the Mark I, which is their entry-level amplifier, this is just one step up from that, in that it has tremolo with speed and strength, as well as volume and tone. The tremolo is also foot switchable. Also, if you ever have run across any mysterious Kent amplifiers from around this time, you may see that they are very similar in construction to one of these. And actually, there is a Kent amplifier that I've demonstrated long ago. I believe that was the Kent that I demonstrated in another video as well, and I'll post a link to that in one of these corners also. And you can see that is nearly identical to this in most every respect, except for cosmetically. But these are really cool amplifiers. This one's already been serviced, and in a little bit here at the end of the video, after we demonstrate it, the tone, we'll take a look at some of the photos of the guts before it was actually worked on. But at this point, it has been worked on. These knobs are non-original. Originally they would have been larger white knobs with chrome insets into the centers of them, but these are from an old RCA amplifier, and I thought they looked good on this. So for the customer, I'm going to give him the option of keeping these knobs. So anyway, let's check out some of the tones of this. We'll start out with the tremolo off, and I'm using a 1986 Telecaster 52 reissue. That's with the volume and tone pretty much all the way cranked. The more you back off that, obviously it's going to clean up the tone a little bit. You won't get that punchy sort of overdriven sound whenever you dig into it. nice kind of overdriven tone. The more you dig into the strings. Again, it also has tremolo. We'll check out this with the strength all the way up. And the control is actually backwards when you have it all the way in the down position. It was this way from the factory. I haven't changed that. When you put it all the way in the down position, the speed is at maximum. When you put it all the way in the up position, the speed slows down. And I found that to be fairly consistent with other Gregory amplifiers, I believe, as well. So yeah, that's a 1966 Gregory Mark V. And now stick around and we'll take a look at some of the guts before it was serviced. Okay, we're just going to go through some pictures here real quick that I took while the amp was open on the bench. You'll see here the baffle board in the back, which is made of masonite, yet the rest of the cabinet is actually made of plywood. And it's laid out the same way as other Gregory amplifiers if you look at some of my other videos. And you'll see here these are actually a couple of the original knobs, but you can't get these anywhere, and I don't think 99.999 something percent of people would never know what was the original knob anyway, but that's what the original one would have looked like. I think actually the ones that are on it now look even better. But still had the two-prong cord, so we were going to change that. And this is laid out the same way as other Gregory amplifiers in that there's no real back to the chassis. It just you can actually see all the guts if you take the back door off. We'll go to the next photo here. A little closer look at the front panel. This one had the missing Gregory logo, which would have been at the bottom right-hand corner of the front grille. It would have said Gregory. All that was left really here was Mark V. This one here has a 380 kind of esoteric writing there, but this is what their guts look like originally. You'll see these wires here twisted all around. That's because every single one of these pots was completely loose and just flapping around, and if you tried to turn any of the knobs, it would just wrap these wires all up, and that's what had been done. Here another one was wrapped all up. This one was also wrapped up I think actually this is after I had straightened these wires a little bit. This is the original cap can, and this one was 80, 40, and 20. I actually lowered those values somewhat. I think it's still okay. There's a little bit of a hum in the background, but it's not real bad. But I think if I went up to 80 on this first note, I think that might be a bit much. But here you can see all these wires wrapped around. This what happens inside the amp if you allow the nuts to go loose on your pots. And actually, one of these pots was completely frozen. It wasn't going to budge. I tried actually to lubricate it and everything too. I even soaked it in oil, and it wasn't going to budge at all, so it had to be replaced. But and these were also Lectrolab pots. Some of these other components are Japanese, like this cap can was Japanese. I think the switch was Japanese. So they were using a couple of Japanese parts over in New Jersey at Gregory to save some money. Everything was entirely original actually when I opened it up. You can see this one here is twisted as well, so this pot was loose also, at least at one point. This is very typical of the construction inside Gregory amplifiers. But what I ended up doing when I replaced this cap can was, if you follow these wires, I just came off of each of the nodes where they were tied in and just went from there to the common ground. As we see with almost every other Gregory amp I think I've ever seen, has a Quam speaker. You can always tell Quam speakers because they have a horseshoe magnet, which is usually open on the one end. 270 is the manufacturer code. 543. Every component in the amp was dated late 1965. I think they must have had pretty good trade because, you know, a lot of amp manufacturers, if they are kind of slow in production, they'll have some things lying around for a long time, and you'll see components that are dated, you know, months apart sometimes. But all the components in this amplifier example were dated very close, like within a couple of weeks, in late 1965. So this one actually is probably very late 1965, probably came out right before Christmas. This just happens to be the end of the line there for that photograph set. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video of a 1965 Gregory amplifier, and stick around for more amplifiers in the future. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and we'll take a look at some more things in the future. Hope you've enjoyed. Bye-bye.